And if they have to build an identity for the company, they need to be in a space which has got an architectural distinctness and a differentiation. So it was difficult, but we were very clear that we're not going to give in to doing work which is stereotype, which means we were very selective with the clients who we would want to be associated with. And we chose to work with clients who see the value with the innovation. There has to be a buy-in on why we are innovating. You can't impose a creative idea or a proposal and tell a client that go ahead and build it when he's not convinced. It's not going to work somewhere. Later it would either change the design or the client is unhappy about it and it just doesn't align. So we, from the beginning till date, we are very careful that the clients who see the value in the work are the ones who see the benefit for themselves, and they're very clear that they've got a business strategy of how to use that innovation to monetize that innovative aspect.
Yeah, no, that's very interesting stuff, and that goes into probably a lot of sales and client and things, and breaking that belief, especially in people that already believe that, oh, what's the good look on my building gonna do for me? That breaking that belief is pretty much impossible for a lot of people, and the fact that you've been able to do that, each one of your projects is like a creative masterpiece, if I may say myself, because each one looks different but has the same mission going or vision going through it in terms of innovation, creativity, breaking through the cultural norms of Indian architecture and building as a whole. And through that, what do you think was your first, true success which launched your firm into stardom, at least in Bangalore?
I think the first project was the project on St. Mark's Road, because that location is so prime in terms of real estate, and it's a very prominent artery which connects this, the business part of the city. You have prominent educational institutions there. You have offices. You have financial institutions in the vicinity of 2 to 3 kilometers. And this site, we were fortunate it to be not just a corner site, but it is a site which has got roads on 3 sides. And when you have a site which has roads on 3 sides, it means that you are given a great opportunity to play with the geometry and the elevation aspect of the building, because you've got a foreground to perceive that geometry. You immediately don't have a neighboring property which is a few meters away, and whatever you're trying to do sort of gets completely hidden by a neighboring property. So we didn't have those neighbors on 3 sides, which just gave all the more reason and the justification to be explorative. And I think that was really sort of launched the studio in terms of our what's our focus on design and what we really want to be as a studio. Those design principles is what we exhibited in that project. And from then on, it was like every project, people sort of related to us, okay, if it's this studio which has done this project, then yes, if we want a project which is different, why don't we approach Vivek Shankar Architects? So that sort of built on our client base, where we were also very clear that we just don't do the conventional work, because there are so many reasons to not be just doing the conventional work. There are various ways in which the building becomes a better place, a better experience to work in. It's more climatically, it works better. There are savings in terms of energy because you don't have just glass bringing all the sunlight into the building. So we have a very clear set of points which we would explain to a client why their building has to have a facade which is different, why their building has to have a geometry which can be going away from many other buildings which are done in such a stereotype manner.
Yeah, and once you have such a, unique piece of architecture or building in such a busy street, it must have become like a walking, talking marketing machine.
It was, yeah. It really it got into the right architectural journals. It was also featured in one of the leading European journals in Austria on the cover page. And there was various other architectural, talks where they spoke about the process of the design of the building and how it has opened up an entirely different possibility of designing a facade.
Yeah, and how many clients do you think reached out to you just because of that one project? That must have been.
Yes, we had a good number of inquiries with that. There were a lot of people who were curious about why it was done as what they saw was done. They were more curious to understand what it was all about. And then there were clients who reached out to us with maybe for an apartment project or for a residential project or for a commercial project. But they wanted again something which is a clear differentiator in their projects. They don't want those projects to be like many other projects. And they saw that we had the capability to bring out that difference. So it really sort of gave us that credit of saying that, yes, we go through a process, but through the process, what we're able to achieve is a highly innovative product.
Yeah, and there was surely a factor of luck that went into it for your first project.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah, but I'm sure that there's a lot of, smaller architects or entrepreneurs generally that don't have that breakthrough moment, like as soon as they get into the game. What's your advice for them? Like, what do you think they should do until they get that, unicorn to come to them and help them blow up their business?
I think it's a lot of patience and really standing by your beliefs, not making compromises because you feel that time is running out. The more you stand by the beliefs that you want to build as an identity for your profession, especially the creative profession, I feel that you are respected more, but by a fewer people. You don't really get the masses coming to you. But you have the ability and the talent to create something different. It just can't be for the masses all the time, unless it's like a social housing project and you do something different and there are thousands of people using it. Well, that's a way you sort of brought out a disruption on a larger scale. But if it's more on a smaller scale and more towards like having an individual who's building a home or a corporate who's building their office space, then you just have to be very patient, and you need to be very clear about what's the process that you adopt, and what would your studio's take be on various aspects like the use of materials, the way you would structurally integrate the structure and the design. How do the two come together? So there can be a lot of educating the public on what your studio stands for. And that would definitely catch the attention of people who see that, okay, there is somebody who wants to make a difference here. Why don't we give them a project? So that time has to be really utilized while you're waiting for that project to come.